based upon its terms.
Okay.
You're not doing that. You're giving it its own definitions based upon some usage in language. I'll give you an example of what one of your Christian brothers did as well, just to show you the commonality that you all share in this, and a huge mistake in what you're doing. Allow the definition of the religion according to itself, allow it to define itself, then engage with it based upon those definitions. You're not doing that. You're imposing out of many multiple linguistic translations that you can interpret it, you're imposing one of them. I'll give you another example. One of your Christian brethren said that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him,
But then didn't he just do that with the Muslims do that with the one true God, John 17:3 all the time?
What?
That's the meaning. Jesus is worshipped the one true God, even though that's not our definition, like how we understand it. So Muslims do it more to us than
your one is different, because when we're given a definition of the companions, this is why it all goes back to authenticity. Can you trace the, you can't trace the words back to Jesus, let alone the interpretation back to his disciples. This is a huge problem. Whereas what we're doing, we're going back to what Ibn Abbas says with a chain of transmission. Ibn Abbas is the one that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam prayed for his understanding. So we've got the text which is authentically preserved. Now we want to understand that. We're going to go to the authentically preserved explanations by the disciples. That's very fair and valid. Okay. Whereas when you're trying to explain John, you're doing it by a later translation of somebody who never met.
That's fine. Let's go to the Jewish thing, because we'll talk again. But I know you wanted to say something.
What takes? I just want to wrap up that one. What takes precedence? The technical usage, allowing it to speak on its own definitions, or you trying to impose something? I'll give you one example just of what your brother did. When there's the hadith that mentions that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he received revelation from under the izar of his wife, the garment of his wife. Now there's one Christian translator in Oxford who's a Christian apologist who went researching who this person was. He's a Christian apologist, and he translated it as dress. Now we've got people that you're quite, this is not hidden from any of us. Now you've taken a word that has multiple translations, it can be translated into English, into a multiple array of meanings, but you've enforced one. Now this is what you're doing with that same word. It's an array of meanings according to the early Muslims, according to the linguists, and you're enforcing one.
But then again, if we go to the original, because the word predates, then I can accept that definition of the garment because it's used, and the definition predated that text. Whereas again, now that definition is how the Muslims understood it. So now the original word has now been redefined from before its original use.
But so engage with it based upon the definition that we're giving it. I gave you an example. In Hebrew, lacha means bread. In Arabic, lacha means meat. The Proto-Arabic, lahem would have meant food. So language evolves, and what would have been can get restricted by a thing. So just to wrap this up, deal with it based upon our terms. You're attacking a religion you're attacking a belief that none of us have ever held. No Muslim has ever held the belief that Allah praised to Muhammad, and now you want to attack that.
Well,
so you're basic. This is literally the definition of a straw man.
But then
what would a straw man be? What does a straw man mean? A straw man means for me to set up an argument as a false representation of what you believe and dismantle that. Okay. Do Muslims, or do you know any Muslims that believe that? There may be some Muslims that believe incorrectly. But what are we going from our authorities?
Dr. Ghali in his Quran.
Who the hell is that?
You know, Al-Azhar University.
Okay, come on. We're talking about authorities.
Yeah, he's a scholar.
No.
He's a Muslim scholar, very well respected.
For us, the authorities are the first 3 generations of Islam.
Okay.
If it wasn't there, how can it be Islam now? If it wasn't Islam then, how can it be Islam now? Famous statement from our scholars. How can it be Islam now if it wasn't Islam then? But
then you would have to say, why did they accept? Because I can say, why did they understand it as blessing? Because the text forces you to come to that conclusion.
No, because these we have, like I said, not only are they're not just making up interpretations of the Quran. All of them understood that to make up an interpretation of the Quran with your own intellect.
Well, because
hang on. Then this would be basically blasphemy. So it's basically what has been handed down. This is the difference. If you want to interpret John or one of these passages, you have to interpret that based upon later people that have no chain of transmission going back to Jesus or disciples. When we interpret the Quran with Ibn Abbas' statement or the Ulama statement, we have a chain of transmission for the actual the text. Hear my point. The text of the Quran or the Sunnah and the explanation. This is why we can do it, and you can't.
Yeah, but even your chains of narration are not based on contemporary evidence. They come in manuscripts or books that come later. So therefore, it's like a straw man point because because you're asking me to rely on your oral tradition. I don't have to. I can then say we have that, make that same claim. We have an oral tradition through the church because we know the church came before the scriptures. So therefore, it would be a double standard. So therefore, in academia, we would say
bring your oral tradition. This is what we, listen. Me and you have been speaking for a while. I've been begging you to bring this. I'm asking you, who's the guy at the end of John? Tell me who that is. I want to see this transmission. I know there is something that you can bring. I'm not going to help you, but I know there is something you can bring. I'm begging you to bring it. I'm begging you to look it. Who is the person that speaks at the end of John? Who is it?
The disciple.
No. John is the disciple, and we trust his testimony. I've been asking you this for like a year now. Who's that person?
So now, if we look at the Gospels as a whole,
who's that person?
But if we look at the Gospels as a whole, there was no, based on oral tradition, there was no ever question that these books are authentic. That is in, especially the synoptics. You understand?
There was no question that they were authentic?
The synoptics.
No, because in what time are you talking about?
Well, from the earliest writings that we can see.
From the earliest writings, people agreed upon all of these.
They were the first. Because when you had the apostolic churches, they were always said to be started by the apostles. So this is where the apostolic church tradition comes from.
What you would have is one church would cling to one gospel, another church would cling to the gospel, and then it became wide. Okay, so it doesn't mean that because one church clinged onto it, there's churches that cling onto false gospels. Hang on, there's churches that cling onto false gospels as well. Are we now going to say because a church clinged onto it? That's not how you do it. Just establish the chain of transmission.
Well, but this thing, our tradition doesn't have to meet your criteria.
That's fine, but you said you the one that said that we have an oral tradition. So I'm asking you, establish an oral
apostolic church tradition.
By who? By who? Who, for example, when did we know that this gospel, this fourth gospel that you called John, when did we know that it became to be called the Gospel of John?
I can't remember the exact year.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think it's Irenaeus. 180, if I remember correctly.
I have to double check.
Okay, so that's 180. When was the gospel written?
But let's, for argument's sake, we have the synoptics. Let's go back to those.
The synoptics.
They were never in question.
They were never in question?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Well, in terms of, they said Mark was the Papias, blah blah blah, but they were always accepted from the very beginning.
From the very beginning, but what year are you going to?
The earliest records.
Substantiate that for me. How do you explain?
So when they were considered as gospels, there was never ever a dispute.
Okay, what year are we talking? What year can you say?
I would say like the early 2nd century.
Early 2nd century.
Yes.
Okay, so but you said from the beginning.
Well, because we have evidence.
Okay, so these gospels were written when? So Matthew, Mark, Luke, when were they written?
Between, I'd say,
I can accept prophecy. I can accept prophecy or Jews look for it.
So about 40, at least 4 was the first that was written, and then the Gospels came after.
Okay. And also we've got other Gospels that were no longer in existence, that were closer. So for example, the Gospel of Hebrews was actually written by Matthew in Hebrews, allegedly. Your same sources, the Gospel of Matthew was written in Hebrew, but we no longer have it. Okay, so we have other Gospels that were now lost, that were closer allegedly, and more authentic, more earlier than what we have now. Mark and Matthew and Luke, do you accept the Q hypothesis? Because it doesn't make sense.
It was sayings.
Well,
I'm still a bit undecided.
Because
I think conservative scholarship, they don't accept it. So from what I remember, I would lean on not accepting it, but I can't remember their reasons.
So maybe you're blind following.
Well, I'm saying because I can't remember all the argumentation points.
That's fine. For right now, you're blind following. You're gonna go research. All right. So just think about it this way: it wouldn't make sense for Matthew, who is a tax collector, to know very fluent Greek. That's number one. Well, and don't say tax collectors knew Greek. They wouldn't.
Well, because they had to report to the Roman Empire.
So what they would know their day-to-day Greek, not highly eloquent
But that's
Greek.
the assumption that he wouldn't know.
No. You're making the claim that Matthew did do it. You established that he knew it. I'm not. You're making a claim.
Yes, but you're making a claim that he couldn't have known high Greek.
No, I'm saying the norm is that a tax collector wouldn't have known highly established Greek.
So you agree he could speak Greek or understand Greek, but your claim now that he couldn't have known Greek to that level.
No, I'm saying from the norm, you're going against the norm, and you're making a claim that Matthew did know it.
But that's an assumption. So
your belief now, you have to believe that Matthew knew highly polished Greek.
If the book is from him and it's claimed to be him, then that's the evidence in itself.
How do you establish that Matthew wrote Matthew?
Because no one had a dispute with it ever.
No one disputed it.
No.
And that's your proof.
Yes.
So you're arguing from silence.
Because I said we have an oral church tradition. Therefore, you can't say. You can't say.
You got this from Matthew. You got this gospel from Matthew.
It was. I can't remember which church first had it. Because Matthew was written for Hebrews. I can't remember what church would have first had it.
My point is this: you're going against the norm. You have to believe now that Matthew knew highly polished Greek. That's your belief, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. How do you prove that?
I don't need to prove it. If I bring the book, because I know. But let's just start on that one.
Let me just finish. Because every time I mention it, I'm trying to. These things are the secondary issues. They're not what I'm trying to get to. But you keep putting up on these ones.
But let's just because you wanted to discuss the Trinity bit. Let's just discuss that.
My point is this. Yes. My point is this. That,
I'm sure everyone would like to know.
That your technical, when it comes to the technical usage, we get a technical usage from early Muslims. Okay. Going back to what I said about straw man, that was my point that I was trying to impose. The definition of a straw man is to set up an argument that doesn't represent my position correctly and then dismantle that.
I didn't say you believe that though.
That's fine.
So I couldn't have straw man you.
So you acknowledge, you fully accept now that no Muslim in the earliest times of Islam and those who follow them to this day, those who follow those early Muslims, they don't believe that Allah prays to Muhammad.
But you straw man me because I never made that claim.
That's, if I did, and I apologize straight away.
Remember my claim.
If I did, I was coming on the assumption that you say that we believe this and the Quran teaches this, therefore it's wrong.
No, but if people go back in the conversation, my original point was.
If I'm wrong on that, I'll say, okay, that's not what you believe, I got you wrong. Would you do the same and say that? Just say it on camera for the people here that you understand that no Muslim in the earliest 3 generations of Islam and those who continue to follow them to this day, they don't believe that Allah prays to Muhammad.
Yeah, I don't think any Christian really believes that. But
so then to say that the Muslim belief is false because of this belief, would that be a straw man?
I think you would be misunderstanding the.
Would it be a straw man? I'll hear my question very clearly. I'm using my words very articulately.
Let me explain it in a way.
If somebody was to say the Islamic belief is incorrect because Muslims believe that Allah prays to Muhammad والسلام, and you know that no Muslim believes from the early generations and those who follow them that Allah prays to Muhammad, that this is a straw man. Would it be a straw man, yes or no?
I would say it would be a straw man.
Thank you, David Wood.
No,
there you
but
go.
I don't think
tell your mate.
That's not the point David was making.
Tell your brother David Wood that it's a straw man to attack Muslims for a belief that they don't hold. Yeah,
but I think what David Wood's argument is that he didn't say that you believe it, but he's taking the word on its pre-Islamic meaning, because I think what he's trying to do is highlight the inconsistency of the language.
Let me just show you what he's doing, and to show why he's inconsistent and all you Christians who follow them. If you come with clear, sincere arguments, you see how fruitful the discussions are. But when you actually lie and enforce your false narratives let me finish my point. He made the claim based upon a translation of one Christian missionary that said that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ in a hadith he narrated, and one of the brothers here,
Dr. Ghali,
hang on, no, just hear my point. One of the brothers here, may Allah reward him, he clarified this already to your friends, your people, that the Messenger of Allah, he received revelation whilst wearing the dress of his wife. This was the claim made.
That's off topic.
That's not off topic, because you have a consistency. You're being consistent in your insincerity when it comes to enforcing the beliefs, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me tell you. Let me make my point.
Let me make my point.
Constantly week in, week out talk about the Trinity.
Let me make my point.
All
Let
right,
me make my
on,
point, and you can respond. It's not a problem. Because of this now, yeah. Anija, 1 second, yeah. Because for you to say,
Yes.
based upon the translation of one Christian missionary from Oxford, we looked up who he is and everything. That happens to be a Christian missionary. Wow. Now he's an authority. Okay. He said he translated this word izar as dress. Now we've got Christians arguing that Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, wallah, I hope Allah accepts me just for this thing, to defend Allah, to defend the Prophet Allah in this instant, this lie that he wore the dress of his wife, when the actual Arabic, it encompasses a number of possible translations in English, from garment to cover to sheet, and one of them can apply in certain circumstances to a woman's clothing. Okay, now because of these number of multiple possible translations, your friend, we don't need to mention names, has enforced one of those possible translations based upon a translation of a Christian missionary, and now you're enforcing that on our belief and saying that our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, dressed like a woman, cross-dressed.
Yeah, but you need to attack the person who said that. I have not made that claim.
So no. Just show me. That's fine. I'm showing you. This is David Wood made this thing.
Yeah, but I'm not David Wood.
No, that's fine.
You're making a straw man now against me.
No.
Let's stick to what we're talking about.
Where did you come to know of this argument that Allah praised to Muhammad? Did you know about it prior to this debate?
Probably. Yeah, I think I heard it from Christian Prince or something like that. So that's way back in the days. Yeah.
Okay. So does Christian Prince have the same thing about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the dress? If he does, I'm going to check this. I don't know his beliefs. If he does, then I want you to call it out.
I don't know. I can't remember.
If he does, then this would be a further example of all of these Christian friends.
But that's what I'm saying. You're holding me to account for these people. Let's stick to what we're talking about.
I want to demonstrate.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be calling these people out because I don't know. But let's talk about.
Word of truth.
Yeah, but what I'm asking you to do. But we're going off. I don't know, so I can't comment on that. But let's stick on topic.
Check it out. Right. Would that? Do you understand now? Just say for the purpose of the camera.
As I was going to say,
for the purpose of the camera, to translate garment, to translate this word izar as dress. Hang on, hear the point. To translate as izar as dress, and to enforce that interpretation and say it must be this, and therefore to make.
But I don't know. I'd have to know.
That's fine. Would that be? If they did that? Let's say if they did that, would that be academically incorrect or kind of showing hints of insincerity?
Well, it depends on what standards. If it's academically, people can say it's insincerity. If in terms of academics and whatnot, people will say it's academic. Well, now this is why I'll go into people like Mansour and Hashim, because Mansour has been here for how many years? I don't know, 5-10 years.
Yeah.
He always talks about the Trinity. Yeah. And he always misrepresents the Trinity, even though he's had clarification on certain things.
Misrepresent how?
Because he will say, for example, you'll say about the understanding of the word, how the earliest Muslims, the earliest Christians understand, even if you want to believe the Bible is not authentic, if the Bible is a Christian, because if the earliest Christians believe that this Bible, you might make, regardless of the true Christians or whatever, but the Christians that had this book, did they believe that Jesus was part of the Trinity?
Did they believe that Jesus was part of the Trinity?
Yes.
Some of them, no. Again,
the ones that had that book.
Even because this, okay. Now, because I've heard it argued about binitarianism and Trinitarianism, but did they believe that Jesus was even again the word.
Yeah, but
hang on. Even the word God in the earliest times, you can see what Bart Ehrman's put out already. That the word God was thrown around to things that weren't actually the creator God.
But when I'm saying like people like Mansour, let me think of.
Show me. No. Because you can't just throw names out there and say they're liars. Where did they get the Trinity wrong?
Well, I'm going to give you an example.
Yeah, go on.
Of something that they twist. So let me think of a relevant verse.
And if what I said is true about this wording, you'd be willing to call out Christian Prince.
Well, I'm not here to call out anyone.
That's fine, but you speak a word of truth and say this is not a good method.
I'm not involved. That's my word. All I'm asking you to
show signs of sincerity. That's all
but the thing is, if I'm engaging with you,
don't even need to mention their names. Actually, I just want you to say is it right or wrong.
Like I said, if you're on an academic standard, then you're held to a higher standard than polemic.
Hang on. We're on. No. Forget the academic. Because academia
Yeah, but let me finish.
Academia, they can study
for a
this
long
thing.
time.
Just answer the question
Yeah, but
directly.
I let you ask for a long time. Because as I say, like when you have people like Hashim and Mansour, they'll talk about the same topics all the time. Even for example, for example, even Shamsi, he talked about the verse where Jesus says, "To a Jew I'm a Jew, to the weak I'm weak." He says,
Where Jesus or Paul?
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
He says, Paul says you can lie. That's not what the verse is saying, and there's not one Christian who follows that or believes that believes that Paul is ever said you can lie. So where did this assumption come from? It's come from an outside interpretation. That's disingenuous.
I don't think so.
Did Paul say people can lie?
I think we can extract that and we can have on valid grounds. And
do any Christians believe that Paul said we can lie? Now we're going to the beliefs of what people believe.
Jay Smith, he does it. Jay Smith, he went to Senegal and he implemented the teaching of Paul.
Yes. So you're not going to find explicit statements. Yeah. I'll say this. I'll say this for the record.
If we go to the church fathers,
I'll speak a word of truth. I'll speak a word of truth now. You're not going to say explicit statements where we're saying that Paul can lie. But can we extrapolate that from the episode in Galatians and Acts, where Paul, James questioned him and said, "We've heard that you've done many things amongst the Gentiles, yes, but we're hearing from people are saying that you're saying the law is abolished." Okay, if you don't believe the law is abolished, pray for the sacrifices in the temple. What did Paul do?
Make your point.
They like silence.
No.
Let me make it.
What did Paul do?
Because I'm just going to go to the same point.
What did Paul do?
Because I'm saying to you again. You're not answering the question. No. Because the thing is this. No. Because what he's trying to do is because when you start this argument, I want people to see the double standard. Because he said, do Muslims believe and pray? And I said, they don't know. So I said to him, do any Christians that hold this verse or Paul, regardless of what your example you're gonna do, did any Christians believe that Paul allows you to lie?
I said clearly and explicitly, we're not going to find explicit words.
No. Yeah, but I'm saying
it on camera now.
Yes,
I'm not no shame.
No.
We're not going to find statements like that.
No. Not that we find statements. I said, do any Christians believe?
No.
Okay,
And as an article of the faith, no.
Okay.
But can it be argued? Yes. Now I'll tell you why it's different. I'll tell you why it's different.
Okay.
Because with the Quran and the Sunnah and the explanation of the companions, all of them come through authentic sources.
It doesn't matter. If we believe that is our book, it doesn't matter. If the book, even if you say that principles of Paul is not authentic, it doesn't matter. That's not the argument point. The point is, do people who hold this book in high esteem believe that he taught that? If we don't, and you say, come up to someone and say, Paul says you can lie, that is a disingenuous to a Christian. Yeah. Because if you then complain that, for example, Christians will say, does Allah pray? Oh, they're insincere. When you've said that to us, that's a very insincere and it's a double standard.
No, it's not. Because
yes,
in Paul's own actions,
I can say to you,
you're not even let me finish.
Okay, go on.
In Paul's own actions, he implemented this principle. Okay. So because the Christian has two things to juggle with. On one hand, Paul is meant to be this directly from Jesus. Okay. And on the other hand, we have these clear verses where Paul said, "I'm weak to a Jew, and I'm what was it? Correct me.
So what was it? Weak to the weak.
Weak to the okay. But what did Paul's actions do? Paul's actions in Galatians and in Acts, he was questioned by what he called and later split from the pillar of the church, James, who we believe was a Muslim from Al-Hawariyun. Okay, he split from the pillar of the church, the half brother of Jesus, or the brother of Jesus, what you want to call it, from the original companions in Jerusalem. Okay, he then tested Paul and said to him, we've heard that you say the law is abolished. Prove to us and prove to people that the law is not abolished by paying for the sacrifices of these people in the temple according to the law of Moses. What did Paul do?
Okay, let's look at
what did Paul do?
Because in terms of what Paul would say, because that's why there were things that were okay. So for example, when he got the circumcision done, so there's certain rights that are saying that we're not bound by it.
That was a council that he had with them.
Yes.
Okay, I'm asking his actions in Galatians.
But wait.
Acts, did he pay?
Wait.
Viewers, anyone can watch this.
Okay.
You because go to Acts and go to Galatians and see. Did Paul pay for the sacrifices or not?
But this is the difference.
You know he did.
Because
did he pay for them or not?
Listen to what I'm saying. If Christians don't believe Paul told you can lie, Yes. Now, if we look at the actions of Paul, then you might say, "Oh well, Paul was doing something disingenuous," which we don't believe.
No.
Now,
clarify.
But wait,
you said Christians didn't believe it.
Because if I take
the early Christians did believe that. That's why they left Paul.
But if Christians, if Christians take that same method of, let me use my point. Wait, let me make my point because you were talking. Let me respond.
Use the word Christians that accept your.
Because if you're looking at the example, Christians, what you're giving ground to is Christians to then say, let's go back to the original use of the word Salah. So therefore it doesn't matter what you believe, Allah was praying because he said it. You might believe otherwise, but the word Salah from its origin means dua. No, because we're having 2 points.
Come on,
no, but it's a form of dua.
Even before that,
listen to what I'm saying. He's saying we've got the opinion of Christians, then he's trying to say Paul refutes the opinion of Christians. So then therefore he gives ground on the academic basis for Christians to say, well, Muslims believe this, but the earliest use of the word means this. So therefore we're going with this word, not what these people believe. It's two standards. You're doing the same thing.
It's not, because I can identify Christians that actually agreed with what I'm saying. That's why I asked you to clarify when you say what you mean. Because there's Christians, and when we use this word Christians, we're talking about the Jewish Christians.
Because Paul explicitly said we do not lie to spread the gospel. He explicitly said
hang on. But what did he do in his actions? What did he do in his actions?
You tell us.
His actions. Did he believe that the law of Moses was abolished or not?
He told us it was abolished.
Okay. Did James follow the law of Moses or not? The pillar of the Church of Jerusalem.
Did James? Well, until the council they had a disagreement.
No. This was regarding the non-Jews.
Yes.
Did James believe the law of Moses was still valid in his time? Did he worship according to the law? Yes, he did.
Okay, let's look at the verse.
No. I'm just going.
Let's get to the point. Let's look at what they say.
Let's get to the point.
I'm
not representing what James said. Yeah. James tested Paul according to the law. Many people are saying, we've heard these good things that you've done amongst the Gentiles. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you can double check. All the viewers can double check as well. Many people have said that you've done these good works amongst the Gentiles, but we're also hearing that you're saying that the law is abolished.
Okay.
Demonstrate that it's not abolished. Demonstrate that you don't believe it's abolished by paying for the sacrifices of these 2 people in the temple.
So what you're trying to do is argue your interpretation over the Christian interpretation. So therefore it gives ground. No, because Christians will watch this and think it's a double standard.
No, I'm highlighted again. When you said this word Christian, you don't know what you're talking about, because I said
the people who believe in Paul.
Let me finish. Obviously, if you believe in Paul, you've got to accept that Paul is righteous. So my point is this: Jewish Christianity. Yeah, this was the first type of Christianity, quote unquote. Okay, Jewish Christianity. They were a people of the Jews.
Yeah, but I'm saying the people you come to now.
A party of the Jews.
Yes. Doesn't matter what if you believe there's true.
These are the first ones.
I'm saying.
So this is my point.
The people
we have Quran with authentic transmission. We have Sunnah with authentic.
No, because I said the people who hold Paul in high esteem. Forget about this true Christian that you appeal to. I'm saying the people that follow Paul. You cannot then come up to them and say. And when I say follow Paul, I'm just really being loose in my argument. But
that's what I mean, man.
Yeah, but there's we can use our logic and say that's not what Christians believe. But I'm saying the people who hold Paul in high esteem, who believe that Paul is part of the scripture, and hold the current Bible, you cannot then say, oh, Paul was this. If we say to you, this is what the people who had these epistles of Paul believe, you cannot then say, oh, this and that and that.
It's not the same. I'll show you what it's the same. I'll show you what your argument is like doing. The early usage of the word God in that time, God was given to somebody who could be honoured, but not the creator God. I can now say that according to common parlance or common Greco-Roman usage of that period, God did not mean the creator God. So when Jesus is called God by any of the early church fathers, here it says God, it doesn't mean the creator God. It means the lesser God. Of course it does. I believe that the church fathers believe that. But what I'm saying, I'm using your rationale of using the common language of the time.
Well, Jesus, in his own words, referred to himself as directed people to scripture.
No, don't say
him as God.
Don't say Jesus' own words, because they're not Jesus' own words. Because you cannot establish any of your gospels. Okay. And this is the whole point. When I'm using the tafsir of the ulama, the tafsir of the Sahaba and their companions and the disciples,
which came from later manuscripts.
Hang on. No, Asanid. We still have the Asanid till this day. I've
terms
actually
of-
listen, burn all the manuscripts.
No, I'm not talking
listen,
about the
let me finish my
Quran.
point.
I'm talking
When I'm
about
talking
the
about
Bible.
tafsir of the Salaf and the ulama, this tafsir goes back to Sahaba, which then go, which
What
would
is
then
the date of the
hang on,
manuscript?
we don't get our religion from manuscripts. You've misunderstood.
So therefore it's oral tradition.
Or till this day, oral tradition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which academically doesn't have, because you like to appeal to academics, and no academic.
no.
Yes, you do.
No,
Because
no,
when you
no,
talk
no.
about
I'm just
John,
talking about
you appeal to. Because remember, there was that time when I spoke.
Yeah,
to
and all I'm doing is
Mansour.
I have my argument, and I'm saying even amongst non-Muslim academics, they back me up. But I still have my argument and stand on my own square.
Back you up in what sense? That
So-
that oral tradition is reliable.
Yeah, of course. You have to rely on the oral tradition yourself. The fact that you, yeah, exactly. Luke, in the beginning of Luke, taking it from the eyewitnesses. That's the oral tradition there. And it says at the end of John,
Contemporaries.
absolutely perfect.
But if
now you're coming to the
or the
table.
narrations come from
Now
a
you're coming.
manuscript from later.
Now you're coming to the table with something.
Yes.
So you're saying yes, we've got oral tradition. Okay, perfect. Now let's analyze our oral tradition and your oral tradition. Firstly, for us to accept our oral tradition, this crazy Muslim criteria that we have, and which is so crazy, and we ask that he's sincere. Sorry, that he's truthful and precise.
That doesn't mean anything. I'll give you an example.
No.
The president is seen as one of the most truthful people,
Are
but
you
they've
mad?
been caught.
Are you mad?
No.
Are you mad? Are you mad? That
Are you
was
lying?
the worst argument.
No.
you used.
Okay.
That was the worst argument you used. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point.
How?
Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point.
Testing him how?
Don't go off on a tangent.
How?
Precise and trustworthy. Okay. Now the way we do that is firstly analysing who that person is. Looking to who his peers were, and seeing his contemporaries and stuff like that. In order for us to do that, we have to know who the person is. I'm going full circle again, and I'm asking you off camera. Nobody knows this. It's not a secret. I'm asking you, in the book that gives you the highest Christology, i.e. John, statements, or the majority of the I am statements, I before Abraham was I am, I and the Father are one, he who has seen me has seen the Father, all of these statements.
Yeah, I believe it's John.
Okay, now the person who gives this Christology to you, this highest Christology, the
But
last...
it's not the highest Christology. Let me just.
No.
It's not the highest.
Fine,
It's a false
it's not.
statement.
Fine, it's not. The I am statements. The book with the most I am statements. Okay. That historically Christians have relied upon in cases. Now I'm asking you, if you go to that last passage in John, it says. Trust his testimonies to be true. Who is speaking there so that we can just begin to analyze his precision and trustworthiness? Who is it?
Well, we believe everything was written by John. So let's look at.
But it can't be John.
Why?
Because
John.
this is the beloved disciple who testifies of these things, and we testify that his testimony is true. So now we're going to ask you again, who is that person?
Well, again, let's look at
I'm gonna listen. This is what I'm gonna do.
5 minutes left.
5 minutes. Don't worry. 5 minutes is fine. I'm gonna write a name down now. He's gonna give me a name that I'm gonna write down. I'm gonna write it in my notes.
Yeah,
Who is the
John.
name of John?
So John is we, and he say he.
I can't. You know what? I've got somebody waiting for me anyway.
خلاص.
We'll talk another time.
Yeah, that's
We'll
cool.
talk another time.
Alright.
The second thing I was gonna say, but we can't go into any depth on it. Is that